You're wondering, how is Julia Roberts and the King family connected? Look at that picture right there. The King family helped Julia Roberts because they could not afford a hospital bill. So the Kings got involved. And here's the backstory. When she was born, they didn't have enough money, Julia Roberts, so the King family helped pay the hospital bill for Julia Roberts' birth. Wow. So how does that tie in with anything? So in 1967, Julia Roberts' family, the parents, couldn't afford the hospital bill for her birth. So Dr. King and Coretta Scott King covered it. They have this interesting tie. How are the Kings able to connect with Julia Roberts' family? So this story, it was, I guess, a rumor for a while. And so what happened? It was confirmed by both Roberts and Bernice King on a show that was hosted by Gayle King. And it goes a little something like this. Gayle King, let's start with the day that you were born. Who paid for your hospital bill? Roberts. The King family paid for my hospital bills. Martin Luther King Jr., she says. Wow. And Coretta, says Roberts. Gayle King asked her, well, how did this come about? Why did they do that? Roberts. Obviously because my parents couldn't pay for the hospital bill. My parents had a theater school in Atlanta called the Actors and Writers Workshop. One day, Coretta Scott King called my mom and asked if her kids could be part of the school because they were having a hard time finding a place that would accept her kids. My mom was like, sure, come on over. And so they just all became friends and they helped us out of a jam. So Gayle King asked, in the 60s, you didn't have little black children interacting with little white kids in acting school. And your parents were like, come on in. And I think that's extraordinary. And it lays the groundwork for who you are. So then soon after the interview went viral, Bernice King shared the clip of Robert's account. So Robert's parents, Julia Roberts' parents, Walter and Betty, they ran a theater company, and King's other daughter, Yolanda, has spoken publicly about attending classes there. So there was a transcript that went to CNN. And on there, they continued the story because people just didn't believe that Julia Roberts was helped by the Kings. So October 28, 1967, Julia went home to a two-story house in Midtown, one of Atlanta's middle-class neighborhoods. Her parents again ran a writing and actors workshop, and Dr. King's kids were enrolled there. So Yolanda King said, Mr. Roberts was so imposing. I loved him, but I was also a little intimidated by him too. But he taught me so much, and he and Mrs. Roberts about the work and just about living and being really open, grabbing life and making the best of it. So Yolanda continues. Since age 8, she'd been enrolled in what was then the only integrated drama school in Atlanta, run by Julia Roberts' dad. She played in a teenage production of The Owl and the Pussycat in 72, she said. Her hometown erupted. So when she played in this, Yolanda said, I was 15, my co-star was white, and the white community criticized it because they didn't think mixing the races was right. This is in 1972. The black community asked, how could you disgrace your dead father's image by playing the role of a prostitute? So Yolanda, a little bit after Dr. King's death, acted 15 years old, played the role of a prostitute. A lot of people were upset. So they were so upset that on the Sunday at the church, he had to get up and explain about that, which was crazy to the whole congregation. So Actor Philip DePoy, he described how a member of the KKK once attempted to make trouble for the aspiring actors. I kissed a girl, and 10 yards away, a Buick exploded. I was on the back of a flatbed truck that had been converted into a swamp. I was a fox. The girl was a terrapin. We were in Atlanta. It was a very nice summer day in 55, and I was 15 years old. And this took place in 65. It was a very nice summer day. The girl was Yolanda King, daughter of Coretta and Martin Luther King Jr. I was primary Caucasian, and Yolanda wasn't. That's what the trouble was about. I don't know who owned the Buick, but I know who blew it up. A man, a member of the KKK, had been looking at me, and he saw me kiss Yolanda the day before in the same parking lot. She and I were members of the theatrical group called the Actors and Writers Workshop. Wow. It was run by the Roberts. So Yolanda and I were standing in a makeshift swamp on the back of a flatbed truck, dressed as a fox and a terrapin. The Klansmen had come around the day before the explosion in order to make trouble. Wow. The guy only heckled us the first day, said words that everyone had heard a million times before, finished his case, and was about to leave when I kissed Yolanda. The school eventually shut it down. And the Roberts, who helped the Kings, who helped the Roberts, they eventually divorced before Mr. Roberts' death in 1977. Wow. So Julia Roberts, and Julia Roberts also has a famous brother by the name of Eric Roberts, both non actors. If you look at that, the interesting ties, no matter what, race is still at its base, but you have a black family and white family, no matter how hated they are for intermingling, they helped each other out. The Roberts family helped the King family get into acting. The King family helped the Roberts family with the birth of Julia. Wow. I don't know if you heard that story before, but let me know. Text me 216-702-3718, 216-702-3718, or email me parkerman2011@gmail.com. parkerman2011@gmail.com. You're watching The King Experience. We keep it simple.